Congratulations, the Kickstarter's over and thousands of players now wait for their boxes to arrive, eager to crack packs and finally play the game. But for many of them, there is still an uncomfortable uncertainty hanging over the excitement. Who are they actually going to play with? For some, this problem will solve itself naturally. Their local game store may decide to stock the game, host events, or even register for organized play. But for many others, this is not simply a community issue. There is no local game store. There is no established scene. There may not even be another player within driving distance. And the reason that matters? Because WeirdCo has already accomplished something incredible. They have connected with a very difficult customer to acquire. These are players with enough disposable income and enthusiasm to buy into an entirely new card game sight unseen. But there is a very real risk of losing them. Not because they dislike the game, but because they never had a meaningful opportunity to participate. But can we see this group? The group I'm describing consists of players who are unable to reasonably participate in organized play. There are many reasons that might happen. Work schedules, family obligations, transportation, health, distance. Each of these deserves its own discussion. But for now, I'd like to focus on just one: geography. Fortunately, this is one of the easiest to measure, and WeirdCo already possesses most of the pieces. The challenge is simply putting those pieces together. Once we do, a picture of this group will begin to emerge. The first piece of the puzzle is organized play. Every registered store provides an anchor for the local community, a place where players can expect to find products, events, opponents, and a community. If we draw a radius representing reasonable travel distance around those stores, we begin to create a map. This map shows areas already being served. Not perfectly served, but served. The second piece is player data. Every Kickstarter order already has a shipping address attached to it. Those addresses can be used to create a map of where players actually are. When those two maps are layered together, something begins to emerge: the gaps. These gaps are not empty. They are filled with players who have already demonstrated a willingness to invest in the game, yet fall outside the reach of organized play. They are customers WeirdCo already has, and now we can begin to quantify them. Not simply where they live, but how many there are. How much have they already invested? How much customer value exists within those gaps? These are highly motivated early adopters. They trusted a new product. They trusted a new company, and they invested before they even knew whether they would have someone to play with. Many of these players will eventually find local communities. New stores will register. Organized play will expand. Player density will increase. But some will remain on the outside, not because they lost interest or because the game failed, but because they never had an opportunity to participate. So how do we help this group actually play with the cards they purchased? The goal isn't to replace tabletop play. It's to make tabletop play possible. Players still buy physical cards. They still build physical decks. The only thing that becomes digital is the table between them. Fortunately, we don't have to imagine what this looks like. Webcam-based remote play has existed for years and has already demonstrated that players are willing to use it. One of the best-known examples is Magic the Gathering Spell Table. For anyone unfamiliar, Spell Table allows players to use webcams to play physical card games remotely. This same concept could exist under Cyberpunk's own identity. Call it Cyberdeck. The obvious question is whether something like this would justify its cost. Fortunately, this is not purely a philosophical discussion. Unlike many feature requests, this proposal can be evaluated using data WeirdCo already possesses. One possible framework looks like this: identify the underserved customer group, estimate how many players it contains, calculate how much they have already invested, estimate their expected lifetime value, estimate how many of those players might be retained through better infrastructure. Then compare that value against the cost of development, server infrastructure, account systems, moderation, maintenance, and long-term support. The purpose of this framework isn't to make the decision. It's to make the decision measurable. At that point, the conversation shifts to economics. The question is no longer whether this customer group exists. The question is what that customer group is worth. Does the long-term value of retaining those players justify the cost of keeping them connected?